Being a manager is challenging and not necessarily for everyone. But if you're determined to make it work, to do it right, then you've come to the right place, because in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can rise to the challenge of management and tackle common problems that managers run into. Welcome to the channel, Leadership with Mike. On this channel, I help you become a more confident leader, and I do this with no nonsense sense, if that makes any sense. Now, it's no secret that managing a team of people, it's not easy. Sometimes it's like herding squirrels. In fact, I believe it's one of the hardest jobs out there. Sure, being a supervisor or a manager, it has its perks. But oftentimes, new managers and supervisors don't know where to start when there is so much on their plate. So let's get into it. The first thing is you need to understand your role as a manager, your role as a supervisor. The role includes setting goals, planning, leading and managing effectively, communicating clearly, and making solid decisions, all while building relationships. Managers are responsible for providing guidance, direction, feedback, and resources to their team. They need to, or you need to, make critical decisions and to foster a culture of trust and teamwork. Effective managers ensure that their team's goals align with that of the organization's objectives. And a manager or supervisor needs to be able to allocate resources appropriately in order to achieve the goals. You're also responsible to communicate regularly with your team, the stakeholders, and clients so that you're able to build and foster good, healthy relationships. Now, speaking of relationships, you want to be building strong relationships with your team members, because this is key for you to develop a positive team dynamic. This is key for you to be promoting collaboration and for you to achieve the team's goals. One of the best ways to do that is by actively listening, by showing empathy, and by being approachable and consistent in your actions. This is going to build trust with your team. It's also important to communicate effectively and keep your team in the loop. This is going to help you create a strong team dynamic. And what that does, by default, it increases productivity. It increases your chance of, or the team's chance of making better decisions, but also your team will have higher levels of satisfaction and you will enjoy increased retention. Now, one thing I find that new managers struggle with or feel that they're not equipped to do is set clear expectations. But the thing is that you need to set clear expectations because it's crucial for your team's success. It provides a clear understanding of what needs to be achieved and how your team can achieve it. Setting clear expectations and goals is also going to help your team members stay focused, help them stay motivated, and keep them aligned with the company's objectives. One way that we can do this is by establishing, I'm sure you've heard it before, but if not, SMART goals. This means that the goals you set are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. This is going to help your team understand what's expected of them and that they'll be able to track their progress. SMART goals provide a clear and concise roadmap for achieving team goals, team objectives. Something that's important when it comes to clearly communicating with your team is that you're providing guidance, you're providing feedback for them so that they understand that they're supported. They have access to the resources they need to achieve their goals. As a leader, you also need to make sure that your team understands their work and is able, and how their work contributes to the overall success of the project. One expectation that I'd like to make clear right now is that if you're enjoying this content, I'm hoping you hit the like button, because that helps me act accordingly. Now, as a new manager, you want to make sure that you're constantly developing your own leadership skills. You should be developing skills such as communication, delegation, decision making, problem solving, and time management. But in addition to that, you also want to be working on your emotional intelligence, because these skills are essential for you to effectively lead your team. By improving your communication skills, by actively listening and providing clear and concise feedback, you are creating a open loop for communication with your team members. This is going to help you build trust and respect quickly. It's going to promote collaboration with ease, and it's going to lead to just overall better outcomes. When it comes to developing your delegation skills, this helps build your team members' skills and confidence because they're doing tasks that they can level up to. And it will allow you to focus on more strategic priorities. This also, when you delegate a task, it also promotes a sense of ownership and responsibility for your team members. You also need to consider that you have to make better decisions. Ultimately, you're going to learn how to gather and analyze data. You're going to seek support or input from your team, the stakeholders, and weigh the pros and cons of the different options. Because effective decision making, it leads to better outcomes. And again, it builds trust and respect because your team's like, this person knows what they're doing. This person, my boss, can make a decision. They are not wishy-washy. As a leader, when you're developing your own leadership skills and style, this is going to benefit both you and the team, because you are able to improve productivity. You will be able to promote collaboration. And again, you're going to foster just a positive work environment where people want to do the job. Now, a problem that managers or new supervisors have is when it comes to conflict. What are some common sources of this problem? Well, in the workplace, you're going to have differences of opinions, different goals, different values, different personalities. And you're going to have different communication styles between members of your team. Conflict, understand this, conflict is inevitable, but it's important to recognize and address what the issue is quickly and constructively. And you are able to manage this conflict constructively when you are actively listening, when you are showing empathy, and you're focused on finding something that is mutually agreeable. You may not be able to 100% please everybody. And by may not, I mean absolutely impossible. But when we work, when we use our emotional intelligence, when we try to sit down and talk things out, there's a better chance that everybody's kind of okay with the situation or okay with the solution. Not necessarily you lose, I win, or vice versa, but we come to terms mutually. And it's also important that you address these conversations early and preferably in a private setting, because you want to be respectful. You want to be absolutely professional with dealing with your team members. And when you are effectively able to deal with these conflicts, what's going to happen is you're actually, even if people don't necessarily get their ways, but the overall team morale and productivity is going to go up. The team is going to respect and trust you when it comes to dealing with everyone fairly. I have a saying that I love to stick by: firm but fair. Now, I know we've talked about some skills and it's kind of gone by fast if you ask me. And of course, in this video, you're not going to learn everything, which is why I want you to visit me over here on this video where I share 15 tips that all new managers should know. So get your coffee and I'll see you there.